Hey there, church. Hope your week is going well. Hope you're enjoying the warm weather and enjoying spring, feeling like it's in the air. Here back with another update video, and maybe you're wondering, oh, what's changing? What's happening now? Nothing specifically. Over the last couple weeks, I've just been talking in these videos about where we're headed as we look at seeing, I think, the light at the end of the tunnel and possibly the opportunity to move into a new normal as vaccine rollouts happen through the spring and summer and what that means for us as a church. And over the last few weeks, that's been my heart in these update videos. Last week, I talked about change and how change means loss and how that's why we don't like change. Because whenever something changes, it means something gets left behind. And a part of change is grief and how we don't like that. But that I think God is calling us as a church to embrace change in this season because we're moving into something new. And I think about post COVID, what could be, what will be, what will the world look like, and how will the world act? And as much as many people are trying to figure those things out right now, nobody really knows. We're going to move into a new normal. I don't believe we're going to go back into what was before. We're going to move into something that we don't know what it will be yet. And so, as a church, we have a choice that we get to make as we move into that. We can do one of two things because we can't do both. We can either try to preserve the past and hold on to the past and make sure that what was doesn't get changed for as long as we can manage it, or we can embrace the future and move into it. And we can follow God's leading into whatever those new things are that He's calling us. And the reality is, we can't do both. And the reality is, it's a hard choice to make. Like you think about the Israelites in the desert as they were wandering around, and how many times they said, let's just go back to Egypt. Not that Egypt was better than what lied ahead, but moving ahead meant moving into an unknown that was scary versus going back to a past that, while unhealthy, was at least familiar. Now, I'm not saying our past was unhealthy. That is not my heart at all in what I'm sharing. But just using that analogy. And even Jesus said, when someone drinks the old wine, nobody wants the new because there's something about the old that we want to hold on to. But the reality is, as followers of Jesus, we should be people who are most willing to embrace the future because we should be the most hope filled people in the world because we have been born into a living hope, as Peter tells us in one of his epistles. And so I want to just challenge us and encourage us to embrace moving into what this new normal is. We don't know what it'll be. And probably once we get into whenever these restrictions are lifted, we're going to be trying some different things. We're going to be experimenting with some different things because we're not exactly sure what is going to stick, what's going to be great, what's going to work, what's going to not work. And so please, as I've said last week, be flexible. But I just want to encourage us to not look to the past and dream of just having the past come back. But instead, let's move forward into what God wants us to move into. There is something great that God is calling us into. That is fundamental to my faith and hopefully to yours. That in everything that happens, God works good as we love Him. And I know our church loves Him. And because we love Him, we know He's working even this difficult season out for good in our lives. If we'll just continue to love Him, let Him show us what He wants to do through it, we'll be amazed at what happens. I truly, truly believe that. But when we're just going, I want what was back again, we're not looking in the right direction to follow God. Instead, we're trying to just drag something from the past into the future. So keep your heart open to the new that we're going to try and stay flexible. And if you have ideas, throw them out. We'd love to hear from you. I love to hear from you. But as we move into whatever this new season will be, whenever it begins, let's move into something new. Let's have a heart that's open to embrace what God is wanting to do in our midst and through us into our city. Not only has this season been difficult for people in our church, but for people outside of our church in our city, it's been an incredibly challenging time, incredibly difficult time. We hear stories of the mental health toll that COVID has taken on people. And we're going to have an opportunity on the other side of this to present the love of Jesus and the hope of Jesus to our city in new and exciting ways. And in everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're sensing the wisdom and the revelation of God leading us into that new future that He has for us. So while we can love the past, while we can appreciate the past, while we can reminisce about the past, let's not cling to the past and say that that's what the future has to be. That's just my update. That's where my heart is this week. I'm just trying to just share with you where I'm at, the journey I'm on, because I don't know. I don't have an agenda. I don't have some sort of secret plan or idea that I'm trying to lead us all into. I'm just trying to follow God and sense God's heart in this whole thing. And I just appreciate the heart that this church has had as we've maneuvered through this season. And I want us to make sure we keep that heart as we enter whatever the next season is as well. I hope you have a fantastic week. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts on this video or anything, please reach out to me, reach out to one of the pastors. We love to hear from you. If you need anything, please give us a call as well. We're there with you. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.